Hello everybody, my name is Chase here, and did I ever tell you that I'm actually a stunning adventurer? Let me tell you about it. Through my journeys I travel far, but not wide. That's scary. I am very knowledgeable about nature.
I saw a fucking squirrel.
I spend most of my time taking in my surroundings and living off the wildlife.
You see these? Contain calcium.
I hate the outdoors, I want to watch cartoons. I wonder what's on TV today?
Nice job, hero.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
If it isn't obvious enough from all the videos on this channel, I kinda like The Legend of Zelda. I love every Zelda game. Sort of. And I'm clearly not alone in that opinion, considering it's one of the most popular video game franchises of all time. But what's funny about that is Zelda's appearances, or better yet, lack of appearances outside of the realm of video games. Mario got a feature-length movie in 3 different shows, Sonic got like 5 different shows in 2 movies, even fucking Pac-Man got a TV show at some point. But Zelda, the fantasy adventure series, has barely any representation outside of video games, either on the big screen or even on TV. Well, except for the franchise's only television series, which would be The Legend of Zelda, the animated series, or as many people call it, the Zelda cartoon. Created by the lovingly titled DIC Entertainment, I still love that name by the way, and based on the first 2 Zelda games on the NES, The Legend of Zelda cartoon was first aired in 1989, the same year as the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. In fact, it's technically part of the same show, as the Super Show would play Saturdays through Thursdays, but on Friday, the Zelda cartoon would play instead. While nowadays is more considered its own show. Now, I watched the Mario stuff all the time as a kid, and I do remember seeing the intro for this one on my DVDs that I had, but I never watched it simply for the fact that I never played a single Zelda game, so I was never really that interested. But nowadays, the series lives more in infamy like the other DIC cartoons of that era, simply for being not that great. But hey, I found plenty of things to enjoy with the Mario stuff, so it wouldn't hurt to give the Zelda cartoon a shot. So that's exactly what we're doing today. I can't consider myself a Zelda fan if I haven't seen the only franchise's foray into television. So today we're taking a look at The Legend of Zelda, the animated series. Well, right off the bat, if there's one thing I can say I like is the intro. It's pretty cool and makes the show look a lot more epic than it actually is. It shows us some cool looking action, epic music, and details about the show is actually about. Well, you know, before it goes to shit.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
Such an oddly specific catchphrase. You would think they would go with something a bit less situational. I thought that's the point of a catchphrase. You're a bitch. Under these apparent circumstances. So first I'll tell you the overall plot of the show. The story takes place in Hyrule, of course, where there are 2 pieces of the Triforce, with Link and Zelda guarding the Triforce of Wisdom, with Ganon and his lackeys always attempting to steal it and combine it with the Triforce of Power, which will allow him to rule over the kingdom of Hyrule forever. Once again, they completely ignored the Triforce of Courage. This is probably because the original game did that too, so I won't give you too much shit for it, but guys, it's called the Triforce for a reason. There's 3 of them.
Golly!
I should probably mention that there were only 2 Zelda games released at the time of the show's creation. We had the original Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, ew. And because of that, they didn't really have much to go on to create the series lore-wise, including the actual personalities of all the characters. Like, what's Link's character in the actual game? That. This show has the honor to be one of the only times Link will be fully voiced and have his own personality. So what exactly is that personality? An insufferable whiny asshole who is a borderline sex offender. His first appearance in the entire show is him perving on Princess Zelda from her balcony.
Looking good, princess. Especially from this angle.
I'm gonna need backup over here. And when he's not trying to be on a list somewhere, he is partaking in his second favorite hobby, complaining. Oh boy, does Link love to complain.
Ugh. Another beautiful day in the magical kingdom of Hyrule. Boring place, I swear. It's like Zelda doesn't even know I exist anymore. Hey, I'm trying, princess! If Zelda thinks she can order me to mop this place, she's got another thing coming. Hey, what about me? Aw, princess, it's past my bedtime.
The hero of Hyrule, ladies and gentlemen, We also have Princess Zelda also making her first voice appearance, and she fares a lot better than Link does in terms of characterization. In fact, one of the only things I actually like about this show is that Princess Zelda actually throws hands a good number of times. Most of the time, she's even more capable than Link is and saves him from danger instead of the other way around. At least most of the time. She's not a damsel in distress, which is something I wish the mainline games would do more of. It's just weird though when they try to make us think that she can't defend herself when she's constantly doing just that. There's this episode where Link's spirit gets removed from his body and he needs to teach Princess Zelda how to fight.
You swing that sword like a girl.
Have we been watching the same show? She's the one saving your ass most of the time. What's also weird is that Zelda cannot make up her fucking mind on whether or not she actually finds Link repulsive or is actually into him. I mean, I know which camp I'm in personally. I would say about 75% of their interactions is excessive bickering back and forth. But the second he says even anything remotely nice, she's goddamn open for business.
What a gorgeous and romantic place.
Zelda, didn't this just happen last episode?
Phew.
Zelda!
Link!
Oh boy, smooching time! Oof.
This scene never fails to boggle my mind too.
Whether I'm awake or asleep, you're the girl of my dreams.
That's the sappiest line I've ever heard.
Did it work anyway?
Judge for yourself.
That worked? There's a few side characters who don't really do anything of note, like this Tinkerbell knockoff named Sprite, who has a perpetual hard-on for Link.
Sprite, get out of here! I'm taking a bath!
I know. You look cute. Need your back scrubbed?
Why is everyone so goddamn horny in this show? Jesus Christ. We also have the King of Hyrule, who besides being a complete dumbass all the time and being on some type of drugs, is a little too supportive of Link endeavors regarding his own daughter.
I was, just gonna swing in through your daughter's window and try to get her to kiss me.
Not a chance. You'll need to take flowers. Then you might succeed, yes.
And then, of course, we have Ganon, who, as I said before, is constantly trying to steal the Triforce of Wisdom, which for some reason can actually talk now and gives advice in the forms of rhymes that can predict the future.
Orderly ways do not make one brave, and neatness does not a kingdom save. Evil is the path you choose, but evildoers always lose.
While he himself is a bit slow, into prison for sexual crimes Link will go.
Ganon himself is a pretty generic villain, all things considered, which is unfortunate considering how much I enjoyed Bowser in the Mario cartoons. Most of his appearances are him yelling about how much he wants the Triforce and plotting the most needlessly complicated plans to steal something I've ever seen, while he just sits back and lets his minions do all the work, which they clearly suck at. I did think it was funny when he was trying to instruct his minions on how to fight in the middle of the battle.
No, you imbeciles! Get them like this!
The fuck? He's got the hamminess for an entertaining antagonist, but it feels like they never actually want to have fun with it. He's like Skeletor without the self-awareness.
What?
I think the biggest issue I have with the Zelda cartoon is the actual plots of the episodes themselves. The Mario cartoons were so bad shit insane with their plots that you pretty much never knew what was going to happen next episode. In one, they were in a Godzilla parody, in the next, they were in space, and in the next, they were running around in Rapland. Every single time I say it, I lose years off my life. This series is significantly more grounded in both plot and tone, but to be honest, I think that's for the worst. Are you ready? Because this is how every single episode of the Zelda cartoon goes. It opens with Link being creepy towards Zelda, of course.
Excuse me, princess.
Ganon's minions appear to interrupt their kiss and they fight them off, which causes Ganon to put his really dumb plan into action, which somehow works and get him the Triforce. But he gets caught by Link and Zelda before he can get away, usually being zapped by Link's sword, and the episode ends with Ganon saying something along the lines of, "Curse you!"
I'll get you yet, Link and Zelda! You'll pay for this!
I'm not kidding, this is how every single episode plays out. It's so boring. And the characters and writing aren't even close to strong enough to make up for it. I think the only episode that doesn't involve Ganon is this episode where they investigate the king's new water park, which sounds like it should be the plot of a sitcom, not a fantasy adventure show. Of all the things to make an entire episode about, this is such an odd choice. It's like, The Legend of Zelda, a story of fantasy, ghoulish monsters, gripping action, and...
Time for spring cleaning.
What? There is action, which should be cool, but most of it boils down to just Link shooting things with his sword beam, and everything dies in one hit for some reason, completely eliminating any tension that the scene could have had. The only thing I enjoy about the action is the kick-ass remix of the main Zelda theme that plays, and to be honest, the music is probably the best thing about this show. This was also true for the Mario cartoons too. For some reason, these remixes of the classic themes are way better than they have any right to be. They've never gotten an official release, but people have actually put together arrangements that you can listen to on YouTube. I feel the same way about its animation as I do about most of the DIC cartoons. It's got a lot of charm. I like the art direction, but it is very jittery and there are still a lot of animation errors, like all the times they talk without moving their mouths. Oh, my favorite example is this one scene where they forgot to animate the creature behind them. Like, that is just next level laziness. How did they get away with that? It's like I'm talking about mashed potatoes again. In fact, I think that can sum up this whole show as a whole. Laziness. There's just not much here at the end of the day. Even beside there only being 13 episodes, I have to say I enjoy the Mario cartoons a hell of a lot more. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not calling the Mario cartoons good, oh god no. But with how ridiculous they got with their plots and humor and pretty good voice acting, they were at least consistently entertaining, and I don't want to punch the main character in the face whenever he speaks. I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy anything from watching this at all. It was cool seeing the enemies from the original games and actually calling them by their actual names was pretty cool. I still think the art direction, while aged, still has its charm, and I love the music. The problem is that these episodes are fucking boring. They're incredibly formulaic, not much happens in them, and these characters are incredibly unlikable. There were only 13 episodes produced, but the Super Mario World cartoon had the same amount and featured Yoshi joining a fucking gang. I'm still not over that. Overall, while it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, I think Zelda can do a lot better if they ever attempt to do another series other than this. But they never gave it another shot. This is the only thing we have, which is a shame because I think A Legend of Zelda can make a great show in the hands of the right people. You know, just tone down the...
Well, excuse me, princess.
But for now, it seems like I have another video game cartoon under my belt, so when I next return...
If someone tries to touch you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good.
That's gonna be a long video. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think that plant I ate earlier is setting in, and the warlock behind the camera is telling me it's time for my bar mitzvah.
We're the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's our game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If you think is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked. Go the Mario! From side to side, come on, it's time to go do the Mario. Take one step, and then again,